Hello, 8th grade. The next 3 sections should be some form of review for you. So it's very possible that you're going to really burn through those. But I want to make sure that we know how to do this stuff before we move on to the three-dimensional stuff, which we're going to really hammer home in about a week. Okay, so we're going to start with 8.1, perimeter and area, and most specifically perimeter and area of parallelograms and of rectangles. So if we want to get some quick definitions here, because this is our first chapter without vocab, that means you need to be taking notes by hand. Perimeter is going to be all the way around a figure. Okay, which means the way to solve this is add up all the sides. And the area then is going to be, how do I say this? Let's use the measurement or the measure of filling a figure. And the area has different formulas. For rectangles and parallelograms, which is what we're doing today, the area is going to be equal to the, let's fix that, the area is going to be equal to the base multiplied by the height. Okay, so let's look at a few examples. We have to find the perimeter of each of these figures, okay, and I'm going to do that in red. So, top left up here, we know it's a rectangle, therefore this 4 has to be the same over here, and this 2 has to be the same down here. So then we simply add 4 plus 4, which is 8, and 2 plus 2, which is 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. But because we had a label when we started the problem, our problem has to finish with the label of 12 feet. Okay, so let's go down here. Once again, same thing. That's a 1, and that has to be a 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. 1 plus 1 is 2. So our answer is 12, and this time it'll be inches. Over here, parallelograms follow pretty much the same rule. If this is 4, that has to be 4. If this is 8, that has to be 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. 4 plus 4 is 8. 16 plus 8 is 24. And now we have to solve for meters. Now we have a problem here. On the bottom, 2 plus 5 is 7, so that means that this whole bottom figure is 7, or bottom part of the figure. That means this top is 7. But in order to find the perimeter, we need to have this side right here. Okay, so this value of x is an unknown. But if I look right here, I see this height right there, and I see that that's a right angle, and I see this bottom is 2, we can do the Pythagorean theorem to solve. So if I do 10 squared plus 2 squared is going to be equal to the hypotenuse of x squared. 10 squared is 100. 2 squared is 4. Therefore, if I do the square root of 104, that'll equal x. And because we're working with these types of problems, we're definitely going to be rounding. Looks like it's about 10.2. So let's put that up here, 10.2. So if that's 10.2, that has to be 10.2. 10.2 plus 10.2 is going to be 20.4. 7 plus 7 is 14. So our answer is going to be 34.2. Okay, so let's pause this and have you give these a try. Okay, so let's see how we did. This is going to be 20 centimeters. This one down here is going to be 64. This one up here is going to be 26. So this is 16. Square root of 17. So this is about 4.1 here. So that means this is 10. So this will be 18.2 meters. If you have questions on any of those, please ask me. I'm here to help you. I'm probably wandering around the room right now. Okay, so let's move on to area. Well, the area of a rectangle is going to be the base down here times the height right here. Well, if the top is going to be 2, by the way, I'll mark up here, we're doing area. If this is 2, 2 times 4 is going to be 8. Now, the label is going to change because we're multiplying. It's not just 8 feet. It's 8 square feet. When you're dealing with area, it's always in square feet. Okay? So, or foot squared, same thing. So this one down here will have 5 times 1 is going to be 5 square inches. Now, in order to find a parallelogram, we need to have the height as well. We need the base, which is 8, but this is not the height. This is the slant here. So in order to find it, we would need to be able to figure out that measure. And since we're working with a parallelogram, we don't know what this measure is right there. And without that measure, we can't find the height x. Therefore, this one we can't find. It's rare, but sometimes you just can't figure out the answer. Well, if we look at the bottom here, this immediately looks like we have to do the Pythagorean theorem because that's what we had before. But remember, we need the base times the height. Well, the base is 7 if we added these two up, and the height is 10. Therefore, we have 70. And you can label this as units squared, but you don't have to. Okay? So let's have you try a few of these on your own. Give these a pause. All right, so let's see if we got them right. This here is 25 square meters. This is 18. This will be 8 square feet. And this we can't find. If you have questions on any of those, ask me. I'm here to help. Okay? So last thing we're doing is what we call composite figures, meaning we're given a figure that looks really strange, and we have to figure out the area. And the way we do that is by splitting it up into smaller pieces. Now, there's always going to be multiple ways to solve this, but I'm going to do this here because I know that if this height is 4, this has to be 4. And I know this entire rectangle here is going to be an 8 by 3, and this small one here, if this is 2.5, this is 1, and that's 4. I know the whole thing there is 7.5. Well, the top says it's 8, therefore this little spot here has to be 0.5. So now let's find the area of all these individuals. 2.5 times 4 is 10. And I know 0.5 times 4 is 2. And 8 times 3, here 8 times 3 is 18. In order to find the area of the composite figure, you then add all the areas of the smaller figures up together. Well, 10 plus 18 is 28. 28 plus 2 is going to be 30. Therefore, that's 30, or 30 units squared. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Let's have you try this one on your own, and then ask me for help if you need it. So let's see how we did. We split this up. I'm going to go here and here, but there's multiple ways to split it up. That's not the problem. Okay, so we have to find out some heights. We know that this right here, if this is, oh, it looks like we forgot one, huh? Yep, we didn't give you the height right here. So let's, real quick, I'm going to change this to a 4, and let's have you try it again. Okay? Okay, so now let's see how we did. So this has to be 3. So this whole measure here is 9. If this whole thing is 10, that means this piece right there is 7. Is that correct? Yeah, because that would be 3, 5, 7.5, and this has to be 2.5 here as well. Okay, so that means this is 7. This whole height is 6, so that's 42. Whoops. And this piece right here is going to be 2.5 times 4, which is 10. So I got 61 units squared. Does that make... Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. 61 units squared. There you go. Alrighty. So here's the homework assignments. This is going to be 9, 10, 11. So you need to get 9 out of 11 correct there to move on. And here is 10, so you have to get 9 right to get your grade there. Alrighty. Good luck.